excited that you've discovered us. We are the Association for Lifelong Learning, all for short. And we started this 4 years ago as a way to connect individuals and talent. There's just so much talent that's just kind of laying dormant, and that's just not right. And so we thought, let's put that to work. We'll enrich each other's lives and make good friends along the way, creating a real solid community. And so that's what we've been doing. Alpine City sponsored us our first year. We've had all kinds of businesses and private families sponsoring us ever since. The reason we have a sponsor is because classes are always free for everyone, always free for all. And speakers speak for free, which is really phenomenal as well. So anyway, we're glad you're here. I'm Alice, this is Chris Ann, and we want to welcome you and thank you for coming. We know you're busy, life is busy, and we feel it a real privilege to have some of your time today, so thank you so much. Just a quick couple little announcements next month. First of all, we always are here the second Thursday of every month at 10:30. Always. There's some awesome class going on, and if you're not on our mailing list, we'll be sure to get you on it and send you our calendar. People come from all up and down the Wasatch Front. This isn't just for Alpine. And so we've got great classes. Next month, August 13th, Dr. Michelle Jorgensen, she's speaking back by popular demand, and she's talking on the dinner hour, Make It Happen, kind of getting us ready to launch into the school year.
It's that thing we used to do years ago.
Yeah, the what? Dinner hour?
Great idea.
A great idea. And she's going to share with us, so you don't want to miss her. A little bit of housekeeping. We recognize, again, that you're busy and you may have to leave early. Don't worry about it. You come and you go. You come when you can, you go when you have to, and you feel comfortable doing so. Down the hall and to your immediate left is the bathroom. And do you want to talk about what's going around?
Right, so we are also Brilliant Living Us. We send out a newsletter every month called, it comes from Brilliant Living Us. We'll go to your promotions folder. It comes out the Monday before the Thursday class. So the Thursday is always the second Thursday. It'll come out that Monday before. It'll tell you what's happening on Thursday. It'll give you a kind of a calendar for what's coming up and some brilliant ideas and tips from us.
Okay.
So if you want to be on that mailing list, we need your contact information, so we'll pass that around.
All right, very good. Okay, let's get to the meat of the matter, and that is our speaker today, Dan Oakes. I've known him for over 20 years. In fact, he's my boss. I work for him, and he has an amazing newsletter that goes out, and I've been writing for him for many years, and he'll talk more about that, and I hope you talk about cooking. This is not an infomercial. We didn't lure you in to sell you pots and pans or anything, but you do need to know about this product because this is part of his from idea to launch. And so Dan is the father of 5 children and our neighbor, and I'm going to let him tell more about himself, but you're going to love and adore this guy, and we're lucky to have him.
Is it good? Oh, good. So thank you. I totally misread the title of this. I thought it was from idea to lunch, so I came hungry, and I was so disappointed that I guess that was last time the guy with the barbecue ribs. So this is going to be not as good as that one, I'm sure, because there's no food, but hopefully it'll be interesting. So I'm the creator of Cookin', the #1 best-selling recipe organizer. And I started the company as a student at BYU 34 years ago, if you could believe it. So I've been doing it for a long time. And it's been an exciting ride and a fun one. And what I'll show you here real quick is, whoops. So this is our About page, and this is me as a student at BYU when I first started the company, DVO Enterprises. Those are my initials. And what we wanted to do was create software that would strengthen families. And so that was kind of the idea. We've got our journey here, our family, and we've got what we believe in. They've done studies, and they've found out that families that eat together stay together, right? In fact, according to the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University, kids and teens who share family dinners are 3 times more likely, or three or more times per week, are less likely to be overweight. They're more likely to eat healthy food, perform better academically. They're less likely to engage in risky behaviors like drugs and alcohol and so forth, and they have better relationships with their parents. So we created software to bring families together at dinner time. In fact, this video here kind of tells a story. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Let's hope that this works so you can hear it.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you choose?
Kylie Minogue.
Marilyn Monroe. Oh God, I wouldn't have a clue.
I know, straight up. Paul Hogan. Kim Kardashian.
No. I'd like to have dinner with Justin Bieber.
What? He's not coming to my house.
No. I'd have Bob Hawke.
Dave Hughes.
Barry Humphries.
Jimi Hendrix.
People who have made a difference in the world, maybe Nelson Mandela at the dinner table.
I don't know what he's going to say. I'm scared.
If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, who would you choose?
Probably our whole family, like a whole extended family. Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad. Does it have to be a celebrity? Could it be family?
We love it. We talk about how school is. We ask Mum and Dad how their day was.
Family.
Yeah, Mum and Dad.
Family. Who would you like to have dinner with?
They just want to be with us while they're eating food, which is pretty cool.
They see us above everything. I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Bit of a message in it for me.
Yeah.
What are we having for dinner?
You like that?
So cute.
Pretty great, huh? So, our story and how the path that I went through and how I came up with the idea and all the obstacles that we had to overcome and the challenge we had to face and so forth, I think it's fascinating. I think it's interesting and fun. But my concern about sharing it with you is that I don't want it to sound like I'm bragging or, oh, look what a great thing that I did, or wow, that was an amazing story and so forth. And so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you're interested, and if we have time at the end, I'll show that part. But I want to focus more on you and your ideas. And there's so many accomplished people here in this room, in Alpine, that the last thing I want to do is sound like I'm bragging or boasting. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now. If we have time at the end, I will. Okay. But I will say this about our business, that we approach things differently than I think a lot of other businesses. I'll give you an example. My programmers who develop the software, they come from a world of creating banking software, where with banking software, they double check it, triple check it, quintuple check it, and then they do it all over again before they release anything. And it's painful to me because I'm like, no. They tease me because my philosophy is, let's release it in case it works. And our methodology is, make it work, and then make it work right, and then make it work fast. So that's kind of how we approach software development. And but I believe, well, let me ask this question. Oh, here's the other thing that we found. 86% of people, if they buy a product and they like it, 86% of the people say they're satisfied with it. But if they get a product and there's some sort of a problem or an issue and they need to contact tech support, and if they have a great experience, if they get a response in a timely fashion, And if the issue is resolved and they're happy and they were treated with respect and well, guess what? Their satisfaction goes up to 92%. So we intentionally sometimes will release stuff with little hiccups here or there, and then we get feedback, and then we fix it and we respond quickly, and we have even greater satisfaction than if it was just perfect from the beginning. So that's the way I see it. So here's the question. Have you ever had an idea for a new product or service? Let's see here. Or have you ever dreamed of starting a business and you were like, oh, this is a good idea. This would be a huge hit. Or maybe you're even writing a book or inventing something or learning a new language maybe. Or learning how to play a musical instrument or trying a new hobby or developing a new skill, but you never took that first step. Is there anybody here who's had aspirations like that but never took that first step? Yeah? Yeah. And why not? What is it that blocked you? What was it? What was the obstacle that you would just never got you from the idea to launch? What do you? Perfectionism. Do you mind if I close this door because we're getting? Oh, okay. Thanks. Lawnmower noise. Yeah. Confidence. Yeah. We have doubts. I don't know. Yeah.
Wasn't quite sure how to move on to the next step, like who to contact.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's the next step? And there's so many unknowns, right? It's just not knowing what that first step even is, maybe. Whether, yeah.
Sometimes I have so many ideas in my head for businesses, but I don't have the energy to go forward with it all. So I just want someone to come along and say, I'll take this business, Mom, or I'll take that idea, Mom, and turn it into a business. And I like the ideas, but I don't like to get bogged down in all the business part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my...
It can be stifling a little bit, right? When you get into the minutia of it, and then it's just like the creativity flows, but getting down into the weeds of it starts to get bogged down. Okay, yeah.
Monetary outlay to get something good.
What's that?
The monetary
outlay.
Oh.
Okay, we're gonna need. Yeah, this is a great idea, but what's it gonna cost to get it off the ground? More than what I have, or more than what I'm willing to risk, maybe. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Wondering how to scale something, like scale the business. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm making this much now, but how do I actually get to where I'm wanting to go?
Mm-hmm. Like taking it to the next level, and what does that entail? What does that look like, and so forth. Yeah, that's great. Good questions. I think that one of the things that keeps people from taking that leap is fear, right? Fear of the unknown or uncertainty. In fact, I think there are some people who can almost experience the emotion of doing it and failing before they've even tried. Know what I'm saying? It's like you think of, oh gosh. Like if you're going to ask a girl out on a date, right? Before you go, what happens? You get nervous. You're just like, what if she rejects me? What if, oh gosh, and you anticipate this worst case scenario, and that's crippling. And we do that in everything in life a lot of the time. On the other hand, there are people who can experience the thrill and the excitement of an idea, the excitement that you would experience had you pursued it and launched it and had success. I'm one of those guys. I can look at an idea and say, and Alice is one of those type of guys too. She's one of those type of gals. Yeah, she and I, we have great conversations, and she talks about an idea, and we're, oh wow, oh, and then we could do this, and then we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this, and we can sense and feel that excitement, and that's inspiring. And so a lot of it comes down to your perspective too. In fact, I'm going to play this video here that will give you the impression of what I'm talking about. Let me unmute it here.
Could be worse.
Not that bad.
For me, it's all about perspective. It's what you make of it. Can I tell you something? All things considered, I'm actually kind of comfortable right now. Thank God for shock.
I can be the kind of prisoner I want to be. Still alive, thank you. Right? Just two injured buddies, you know, having a friendly convo while we're waiting to get tortured again.
And, you know, there's a kind of a positive in having no options.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Not that.
Okay. So it's all about your perspective, right? That's right. And that's one of the keys. So, oh gosh, I should have brought like my mouse. I'm trying to work with this pad. So let me share an example of what I'm talking about and a quick story about taking an idea to launch. So we raise chickens, but we were like the world's worst chicken farmers. Because you have to raise them, you know, for 6 months before they begin laying eggs. And from chick to that period in time, we were losing them. Like we would go to IFA and the little chicks would run. They'd be like, please don't grab me. Don't let that guy buy me. I'll die for sure, you know. In fact, we figured, well, we need probably 16 chickens or 12. So we bought 16 or 12. And by the time 6 months came by, we had one left, you know. So we're like, well, shoot, if that's the case, we bought more. And we thought we better get like 32 this time. So by the time we'll have 16, you know, when they get to egg laying age. And then we went to 64 and then 128. If you could, we were terrible. And if it wasn't the raccoons or the foxes or the skunks or the minks or possum or, you know, those, it was our own dog, the family dog would get in and he was a black lab. And when they flutter their wings, he would just, his eyes would roll back and he'd go into attack mode, you know. And so, but the biggest problem was that you have to close the door at night. They go into the coop, you know, when the sun goes down. And then you close the door so the predators can't get them. And then in the morning you have to open the door and let them out, you know. And we were having our kids do that because we were trying to train the kids to be responsible and so forth. And we would do well at it almost all the time. And there would just be that one slip up where either we'd forget or something would happen and, you know, a raccoon would get in and kill them. And I just finally thought, you know what, I need to reach out. So I talked to Rick Stapp in our ward. Rick, how do you do it? You're good at raising chickens. He said, well, not very good. We had 8 chickens yesterday and we've got 1 now because Sam forgot to close the door last night and a raccoon family got in and killed him. He goes, go talk to Arlen Runoffson. He's got like a chicken mansion. So I went across the street and talked to Arlen. How do you do it? What's your trick? He says, well, not very good. Because a raccoon family got in a week ago and killed like 12 of our chickens. Could you believe that? One family of raccoons killed that many. And he said, I was like, well, what happened? He said, well, we were out. And we were out doing something, and then we just came home later than expected. And between the time that the sun set and then we got home, in that amount of time, a family of raccoons got in and killed all the chickens. So I talked to several other people, and I found, wow, this is actually a very common problem. We love chicken. We eat it all the time. Well, so do the raccoons and the skunks and everybody else too, right? So I thought, you know, and there's those nights where you're laying in bed and it's winter and you're just getting snuggled in the blanket. Oh, this bed's been calling me all day, you know, and then you go, oh no, we forgot to close the door to the chicken coop. I don't want to put on my snow boots and, you know, go out there and trudge out. And so I thought, you know, if we can put a man on the moon, you know, and we can open and close our garage doors with a button in our car, surely we can open and close the chicken door, you know, right? Shouldn't be rocket surgery. And so I looked online to see if I could buy an automatic chicken door. And I looked and I couldn't find anything for sale. And I found some discussion boards where people were like talking about the idea, but there wasn't anything to buy. And so I thought, ding, 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 you know, the light bulb goes on. So I took one Thursday during my lunch. I actually took 2 hours, a little bit of a longer lunch break. And I bought the domain like chickencoopdoor.com. And I built a simple website. I just made up imagery for it because nothing existed. And I listed this product, this automatic chicken door, for sale for $175. And the next day, because it takes, once you buy a domain name, it takes 24 hours for it to propagate through the DNS and everything and to go live. So the next day at lunch, when it went live, I paid for some Google ads, and I ran some Google ads, and there was no competition on those keywords. So the cost per click was super low. And in 1 week, we sold 10 doors. Could you believe that? At $170 each. Yeah.
Do you actually have a product?
No, not even a little bit. So my plan was to contact the people who bought them and say, demand for this, we regret to say the demand for this exceeded expectations, which is 100% true. And so we're back ordered, which is true. So we're going to refund your money, and then as soon as we have it in inventory, we're going to ship it. That was the plan. But what actually happened is I called my brother-in-law. He's a general contractor. He builds homes. He built our home here in Alpine. And I said, Jeff, bro, people are buying this thing. You need to create this door. You know, I was busy with cooking, you know. So I was like, you need to create this door, you know. And so he researched it and yada, yada. And he's handy and capable. And so he ended up finding there's these motors that open and close the blinds. And so he bought one of those, and he built a frame, and he just attached a string to it and so forth. And he was able to then make the thing, and we shipped all those orders. Wow. And yeah, he jumped on it and made it happen.
Are you still doing it as a business?
Well, here's what happened is it started doing really well. In fact, he got distribution through IFA, and they placed a big order and so forth. And I ended up just giving the business to him. He was struggling at the time, looking for work and so forth. And I was busy. I didn't have time for another business. And so it was right up his alley. And so he got to the point where he systemized it. He would take one day at the beginning of every month, and he would make about 30 doors. And he would box them and everything, and they would stack up, and they were about this tall. And he would just put them next to the front door. And then every day, he would get an order or two. And so my sister would go on the computer, print a shipping label, print the packing slip, put the packing slip in the box, put the shipping label on, and UPS would come every day to their house, and she would just put it out on the porch. And that's all that they did. So one day a month, he would build these doors out. And I ran the numbers one year, and he had made $80,000 in total revenue and $40,000 in profit. So a simple idea like that, we took from idea to launch, and it was a lot of fun. And so anyways.
Wait, but then what?
Well, he wasn't really good at marketing and advertising and promoting things online. It's not really his strength, you know. And so then, and other people kind of got wind of it, and there were some competitors that came on. And so then he kind of. No.
That's
no.
his fault.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Would you say often it's true that people have their strengths? Like he was so good at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see that often where someone's really good at that, but then he's not good at the marketing part.
Right.
Something else. So it may be good to have someone work with you that does, so that you're not trying to do everything that you're not good at.
Yeah, rather than, I read a book about that one time, rather than trying to spend all this energy trying to compensate for the areas where you have shortcomings or the things that are not your strength. It's better to find people who are good in those areas, and then you focus all that time and energy on what you do best and what you're really good at. And that would have been good for him to do. How else would you describe that, Brian? This is my brother, Brian. He's filming this presentation. Do you remember anything else about that experience? He was instrumental in helping with that, and it could have gone differently for him, you know. I don't know that anyone was like, this is $1 million idea, you know. Maybe it is, but.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun because he involved his kids in helping build the doors and everything, and so that was really good. He kind of tried to turn it over to one of his sons to run with it as well.
Because he was busy building homes too, and
right.
Building homes is much more lucrative than shipping chicken doors too. And stuff,
yeah, it kind of became a side project, and
yeah.
then the side project turned into oh, I have competition, now I need to figure out how do I compete, and the whole go out and meet with the IFAs and that type of thing, it kind of got dropped off.
Yeah.
And that's what the competition did. So the competition started making it like a real business, and he was trying to make it a
hobby or a side kind of thing for the kids or whatever. Yeah.
I guess maybe my takeaway from that story is something that stops me is what if I get in trouble? Like, I don't have an actual chicken coop door to sell, and is someone going to come and be like, hey, we ordered $200, where are our doors? And that's pretty astounding to me that multiple people knew what was happening, and everyone was like, oh, let's just see what happens. I feel like I'd be crippled with like, I better have all my I's and T's crossed before I even push go.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that, because that segues right into the next thing that I wanted to share, which is I think we would all agree that the approach that I took to this business is unconventional, right? Selling something that you don't even have yet, right? Conventional wisdom would say that you must do extensive market research. You've got to do focus groups and surveys, and you must hire a product designer and build prototypes and then find a manufacturer in China, right? And then you got to create a pitch deck and make a presentations to investors in order to get the funding that you need. And then you got to hire a firm to build your website and then manufacture 10,000 units and then promote your product and market it and then sell it, right? That's like traditional, conventional wisdom, right?
What did Dad always teach us about the cart?
Well, you can't sell apples from an empty cart, is what my old man would always say. But we found that to not be the case. You can sell apples from an empty cart. And that leads me to my next video, which is this one here. Oh, whoops, hold on.
Stop! Don't eat that food!
Who are you? What are you doing in our house?
I'm from the future. I'm here to warn you, don't eat that food. Why not? The eggs. They're full of cholesterol.
What?
Eating even just one egg can dramatically increase your chance of heart attack. Don't eat eggs.
Oh my God. Thank you.
You're welcome. Godspeed.
Well, I guess I better take those eggs.
Wait! Stop!
You're back!
Yeah. We were wrong about the eggs.
How?
It turns out there's two types of cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and eggs actually have both. So you can eat eggs, but just don't eat the egg yolks. So stick with the egg whites.
Yes, thank you.
Godspeed.
Weedle's face.
We were wrong about the eggs.
Again?
Yeah, okay, so it turns out that the amount of cholesterol in a food doesn't actually affect how much cholesterol ends up in your blood. The eggs are probably fine. In fact, we sort of don't even know what cholesterol is. The steak! You can't eat the steak! Wait! We were wrong about the steak!
He's getting older each time. You notice?
Man was not meant to eat bread.
What do you mean a man was not meant to eat bread?
Turns out it's genetic. Doesn't matter whether you exercise or what you eat. I'm sorry I ruined your meal.
18.7 seconds left. I say to Mark, all right, let's just try to get a quick 3.
Oops. Sorry, that wasn't the plan there. But anyways, so...
What was that one called? I need to send that to my mother.
Oh, I can't remember now, and I just closed it. It was the time-traveling nutritionist. Yeah, is what that one was. So I tend to view things like the guy who was sitting at the table there, skeptical of the experts, skeptical of the traditional path. And my philosophy is don't listen to the experts and the naysayers. Just throw that noise out. But do listen to the market. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. The market will talk to you. It will speak to you. It will tell you whether your idea is good or not, whether you should continue taking next steps and so forth. So listen to the market, but don't listen to the experts. And
So how do you do that?
well, that's a good question. And it kind of depends on what the market is and what, the opportunity is and so forth. But you need to talk to people who are your target market. Sometimes I'll talk to my brother about recipe ideas and other things, and then we'll realize, wait a second, neither of us are housewives. Like, even my employees who are the programmers, we're like, that's a great idea. But we don't cook. We're not going to the grocery store all the time and stuff, and so it's imperative for us even to connect with our customers and to listen to them. And we do that by email. We get emails from them. We write that newsletter that Alice writes for 20 plus years now. She's been writing for this. 4 articles a week. Yeah, if you want a vast amount of information, get a hold of that archive in that library and you'll learn a lot because she writes amazing articles. But people will comment, as you know, and we can even track how many clicks and page views her articles get, so we can then see which ones are most interesting and so forth, and what our customers are interested in reading and so forth. So, but yeah, definitely listen to the market. There's an author of a book named Seth Godin, and the book is Poke the Box. This is required reading for Oaks kids, by the way. And it's very small. I should have brought it. It's very small, very easy to read. Poke the Box. Has anyone heard of it? No. Wow, interesting. Yeah. So Poke the Box is, the premise of it is children, little kids, toddlers, if you present them with a box, if you put it in their crib, and there's buttons and lights and knobs and stuff and so forth, what are they going to do? What? Yeah, poke it. Exactly. They're going to poke the box. They're going to push the buttons. They're going to see what look at when I do this, the light goes on, blah, 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 right? Well, do you know they've done studies as kids go through the school system and so forth, that tendency to want to poke the box goes away. By the time they're in 5th or 6th grade even, they've learned, you speak when you're spoken to. Everybody needs to line up. You do this when you're instructed to do this, and yada, yada, yada. And they're much more reluctant to poke the box. And as adults, we're that way a lot of the time. And that's what the whole book is about, and it's fascinating. And Seth says, no, poke the box, he says. You got an idea? Ship it. That's what he says every time. Ship it. Ship it. Don't talk about it. Don't sit around, blah, 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 I don't know this or I don't know that. Ship it, he says. Poke the box. Do it. Yes.
So what's the author's name?
Seth Godin. S-E-T-H, Seth Godin. That's G-O-D-I-N. And here's what's interesting, I think. There's no better time in the history of the world to poke the box and try something new than right now. Why is that? Yes?
You can get your idea to so many people, like everywhere, anybody in the world. You could get your idea out.
Your reach.
One person who likes your idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Your reach right now, the tools that we have to get the word out and spread the word are incredible. Why else? Why else is now?
AI can help you.
Yes, AI covers up for a lot of shortcomings. It'll do the market research for you. It'll write your copy for your ads and for your website and so forth. It'll build your website for you. It'll do it all. It's amazing. We are living in a golden age. Oh my gosh. In fact, I've always wanted to play a musical instrument or make music. And if I had ever learned, I should have been a great proficient. Does anyone know what that quote is from? Yes, yes. In fact, I got to play it. Would you mind? It's only 1.5 minutes long. It's classic. So let's see here.
Be in nobody's way.
Sorry. Here we go. Okay, ready?
You will never play really well, Miss Bennett, unless you practice more. You may come to Rosings as often as you like and play on the pianoforte in Mrs. Jenkinson's room. She would be in nobody's way in that part of the house.
Thank you, Mom.
There are few people in England, I suppose, who have more true enjoyment in music than myself. Or a better taste.
Or better taste.
And if I had ever learned I should be a true professional. You will never play really well.
Okay, so anyways, I love that. It's so funny to me. But anyways, if I had ever learned, I should be a true proficient. Well, I haven't learned, but because of AI, I can still be a true proficient. Would you like me to show you an example? Are we doing okay on time? Or yeah? Okay. You guys good? Everyone's good? Interesting, fun? So keep going. Okay. So here's what I did. I wrote up a prompt that I'm going to put into ChatGPT. So, and you can do this too. And this is what I'm going to show you so you can actually just see how it's done. I have a project here called music. I'll create a new one. And I'm just going to paste this in. I wrote it in advance so I didn't have to, you didn't have to wait while I type. But basically I said, look, I was asked by Alice Osborne, my friend and neighbor, who also writes articles each week in the Cooking newsletter, to speak to the Association for Lifelong Learning. Alice asked if I would give a brief history of cooking and then give practical steps and motivation on how to go from idea to launch. In fact, that's the title of my presentation. She suggested that I talk about things to do and things not to do, things to know, resources available, and so forth. I'm standing in front of the group at this very moment, which I am. And I just mentioned that there is no better time in history of the world to pursue your dreams because with the help of AI, we can do things that we never considered possible before. For example, with the help of AI, I can make great music. In order to demonstrate this new ability that I have, please help me create a motivational song about this presentation and the idea of pursuing your dreams. Something that will give people the courage to take that leap of faith. Please write the lyrics and give me the style notes for Suno. I'd like this song to sound like and resemble the song Roar by Katy Perry. Okay? So I'm going to submit that to AI. What a fun moment for your audience, is it? Is that true? See, AI is smart. It is a fun moment for you. I think this could be a powerful demonstration. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's the lyrics now. So I'm going to select this. I haven't even read it. I don't know what it says.
We should just sing it.
Should we?
No.
Should I sing it, Brian?
You don't want to ruin it. It's going so well.
My kids say, Dad is tone deaf. I'm not sure what that means, though, but there's Kathy calling. She knows I'm doing a presentation. And she's like, we need to get those invitations out for the wedding. So I'm guessing. Okay, so right here, I use this tool called Suno.com. And right here, I'm just going to go and paste the lyrics here that chat wrote for me. So I'm going to go paste. And now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and it has this Suno style prompt. So I'm going to copy this.
Do you have to be really smart to do what you're doing?
No, you just watched me do it, and I'm not very smart at music. So I'm going to go here to the styles right here. And I'm going to paste the style notes. And then I'm going to scroll down a little. Sorry, I'm just using this keypad thing here. And I'm going to give it a title. Actually, I'm going to title this From Idea to Launch. Seems like a good title. And I'm going to click Create. And this is where my magic comes in. And my style and the essence of Dan. It knows me. And so while that's working, I'm going to let that work for a minute. And while that's working, I'm going to do one other thing here. Let's see here. Oh, there's my mouse. Oh, is it already? Oh, okay. It's still working on it. The little thing is spinning. So we'll give it a second.
While you're fiddling with that, I want to just throw something out, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. So if I'm not really techie and I'm not smart like you are doing all of this, can I find a student at BYU or UVU that maybe would need a college project or something that could take me on and help me?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or your kids or your grandkids or someone, find a neighbor but play with it a little bit, and you'll get the hang of it. And like I said, this, I don't know, couldn't be simpler than what I just did. It's literally 3 steps, right? And so what I'm going to do while that's working, it's still processing. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go to ChatGPT again here. And I'm going to go to miscellaneous. And I'm going to paste in another prompt here, which says, please create a poster from idea to launch presentation to encourage people to come. Here's my photo. And now I'm going to click this plus, and I'm going to choose a photo from my library. Let's see here. Oh, shoot. There you go, Dan the Man. I just shot this last night as I was preparing. Look at that, I just held up the camera and I gave a kind of a sultry look to entice people to come to this presentation. So I'm going to submit that. So think about it, if you need an image for your website or for a poster for this presentation or whatever, right? It's like, I don't have graphic design capabilities and skills and yada yada, right? That's definitely not my strength. My brother actually studied, what was it, Brian? Graphics design, right, at UVU. I studied computer science, and I don't have an artistic bone in my body. But yet with AI, it'll do it for you, yeah.
So do you have any suggestions between ChatGPT and Claude?
Yeah, so. What's that?
Do you know the difference?
Yeah, Claude does a lot better with like coding. And I use both. So if I'm doing something where I need something coded or need a website built or a web page created or something like that, I'll use Claude. But for writing and creative stuff, I use ChatGPT. Also, ChatGPT, I have so much experience using it that it kind of has a history. It knows my style. I write in the newsletter also, and I use it to help me write my articles. Sometimes when I'm really lazy, I'll be like, okay. Usually I'll write my article, and then I'll ask ChatGPT, how do you improve this? And then it's usually got great suggestions. But sometimes when I'm really lazy, don't listen to this part, Alex. I'll say, just write me an article about this. This is the issue. This is what I wanted to talk about. Just do it. I don't have the time, and I'm too tired. And it'll do it, and it'll sound just like my voice because I have this history with it. So. And they're constantly improving them too, and they're changing. So, oh, there it is. Look at that poster from idea to launch. Turn your passion into purpose. You have an idea? Let's launch it. That's a pretty nice poster, don't you think? Wow. Oh my gosh. Don't just dream it, launch it. One idea can change everything. Yours could be next. I mean, look at what I submitted for the prompt. Please create a poster. And it did all this. A real world journey, practical steps, real inspiration. Boy, that's true. I want to go to this. This sounds good. Discover the keys, steps to turn your idea into a successful product. Learn what to do and what not to do from 33 years of experience. It's 34. It's screwed up. Get practical tips, tools, and resources you can use. Be inspired to take that leap of faith. Man, that's a powerful thing. Okay, so should we see if it made a song for us? You guys ready? Let's give this a try. From idea to launch.
Every dream begins with a single spark, a little idea in the quiet dark. People say maybe someday and let it fade away, but someday starts with today. You don't need all the answers now. You don't have to know the why or how. Just one small step can change your story. One brave yes can lead to glory. The road won't always be clear. You wrestle doubt and fear, but every mountain ever climbed was conquered one step at a time.
One step at a time.
So take the first step. Don't wait another step. Your future is a ring until you choose your own.
Yeah! Yeah! Take the first step. Right? This is inspirational. I'm getting pumped here. Oh, look at my brother.
Today, the world's changing fast. New doors are opening at last. With a little faith and a little AI.
Write a book. Write a book.
Build a business, chase the goal. Paint the picture, sing the song. You'll be ready all along. No perfect moments coming soon. No magic under silver moon. Success belongs to those who start with hopeful hands and faithful hearts. One idea can become tomorrow. One decision can rewrite your story. One small leap can inspire another. The world is waiting for what only you can discover. Take the first step. Don't wait another day. Your future isn't written till you choose your own way. Stand up taller than your fear. The time you've waited for is here. Take the first step. Let your passion fly. Lift your dreams into the sky. If you believe it, you'll be amazed. The greatest journey starts today.
The greatest journey starts today.
Your dream is calling. Take the first step. Keep moving forward.
Take the first step.
Today.
Ha-ho! Woo!
Is this free software or is this free?
Suno it has a free version. I actually subscribed because there's certain benefits you get. Like, for example, you own the rights. I own the rights to this song now. So, like, if I want to include this in a YouTube video that I do, if you have a copyrighted song in a YouTube video, YouTube will, like, flag it or they'll put ads on it.
You don't own the rights if you don't pay for it.
That's right, yeah. But I own the rights to this because I subscribed. It was like $75 a year or something, and for me, it was worth it. So, but they have a free version. You can use the free version and make songs, and so this is pretty cool. I mean, I had no idea what the outcome was gonna be of this. So I took a chance in front of you guys a little bit here, right? And it turned out pretty good, right? I mean, do we agree? Yeah, pretty fun stuff, huh? So with AI, you can do amazing things. You can make music, you could make pictures, you could build websites, you can. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, having said that, here's a simple commitment. There is this article that you should read. Something Big is Happening by a guy named Matt Schumer. And it's really long, but it's worth the read. And it's one of the most interesting and fascinating things, and I highly recommend it. And I can summarize it for you. But actually, I'll just tell you the takeaway from it, which is what you should take away, which is here's a simple commitment that will put you ahead of almost everyone. Spend 1 hour a day experimenting with AI. This is what each of you should do, okay? Not passively reading about it. I mean using it every day. Try to get it to do something new, something you haven't tried before, something you're not sure it can handle. Try a new tool. Give it a harder problem. 1 hour a day, every day. If you do this for the next 6 months, you will understand what's coming better than 99% of the people around you. That's not an exaggeration. Almost nobody is doing this right now. So the bar is on the floor. Yes.
I have a thought.
Yes.
So you said we need to listen to the market. We might be able to get some valuable market information on whatever we want to do.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. And
the author of the article?
it's Matt Schumer is the author, and I can give this link to Alice. She can include it in the next newsletter too. Matt Schumer, Schumer. Something big is happening. You could probably search for his name in that title and find it. So here's some ideas. Use AI to write a book. My wife is doing that, and it's amazing. And she uses actually both Claude and ChatGPT. She'll take a chapter or a section of a chapter and she'll submit it to Claude and say, what do you think? And how could I improve this? And then she'll take that same one and she'll improve it and she'll submit it to ChatGPT. And it's amazing. So she's writing the book. You can make a song, you can create an image, you can make a movie, you can build a robot. They have these Arduino boards. And well, actually my brother has this Xbox controller, and he wanted to create custom functionality to work with his video software there when he's recording sporting events, so that when he pushed the A button, it would increment the score for the one team, and the B button increments the score for the other team on the iPad and so forth. And he actually got the firmware for that device, and Claude rewrote the software for him so he could customize that Xbox controller to do exactly what he wanted. And he's not a programmer. He's an artsy guy. He's an artsy-fartsy guy. And he's doing that. So yeah, there's amazing things you can do. Also, yes.
Okay, without raining too hard on the parade.
Yeah.
Okay, what are people's thoughts and feelings about when we're like using AI and undermining like human talent? Because I'm like, okay, he has a graphic arts degree and all that, and it's like, well, it's obsolete now. He doesn't need that because he has AI. What are like people's thoughts on that? Like,
it's not there yet. That's the thing. So, it works for a fun poster like that, but if you look closely, all of a sudden there's semicolon instead of a colon or something like that. I mean, you'll find mistakes or trying to incorporate exactly what you want. It doesn't always get it just right.
but the time it saves you, like the time
Yes,
it saves you, it's
absolutely.
still worth it to ship it.
Absolutely. I'm a graphic designer and I use it every day. And then I go in and I tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really, everything about AI makes everything faster. So I have programmers that will use it and it will make mistakes or it doesn't do it perfectly, but it gets them 90% of the way there. And then it only takes them minutes to get the other 10%. And so it's really helpful in doing everything, doing research. You can have a research competition. You can have it research your idea. Is this a great idea that I have? Can I launch this? And it'll go out and say, oh, there's competitors you don't even know about. And what makes you different? And so it really makes you think, and you have to say, well, mine isn't different. And then it's like, all right, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Or I do have something that's unique and different, and then it will weigh, okay, I think that's worth it.
He has an AI thing that goes out and scans all of his competitors' posts online too. And then it reports back and says, this one got a lot of traction, like a lot of comments. This one, not so much. This is what seems to be most interesting to people in the market right now, because whenever this topic is commented about or posted, then it gets the most comments and so forth. So yeah, it's an amazing tool to.
Did he set that up? Did he put in, these are my competitors?
Yes.
Oh, you put the information in, search it every day,
Yeah.
and tell me.
I do it once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah. And it gives me a report. It generates a report every Saturday while I'm not working, and it sends myself an email. And so I look at that report every Monday morning.
And it tells you what your competitors are doing.
It's, what do you do, Brian?
What do you put it into?
What does he put what into?
Because he said he researches his competitors, and then you put it into what?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Claude.
Mm-hmm.
That one I'm running through Claude.
So, and these AI tools are getting better and better all the time. They're growing at an exponential rate. Yeah.
I just want to address what she was saying.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so controversial, and I'm in education, just leading education, and it's a huge topic in education, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI can help kids do so many amazing things, right?
Yeah.
And there's like so much fear around it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really what we choose. Like, if you choose to have fear around it and see it as a scary thing that's going to take over, then that's what it will be for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can see it as a tool and teach kids to use it as a tool and
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it for what it is, it's amazing, right? And it's not something that we need to fear. There's always that, but it's not that human factor.
Uh-huh.
I think humans are always going to be humans, and it's not going to take from that, you know, like, but I feel that there's kind of this push and pull of, I don't know how I feel about AI, but like approach it as a way of a tool. It's like working in, it's helping, you're working together. It's not like it's taking over your brain. You know, like I feel like someone is taking over kids' brains. It's something that you're going to use, you're going to work together to create something beautiful.
We tend to fear the unknown too. And so for a lot of people, it's unknown. We hear other people talking about AI and we hear this and that and the other and so forth. And that's why I say spend an hour every day. And if you do that for the next 6 months, you're going to be so far ahead of the game, and try to get it to do things, challenge it, and just become familiar with it. And then you realize it's a tool, and it's a powerful tool.
My son and I, every day, we share one thing that we learned new about AI. It doesn't take long, just a simple text message. Sometimes it's, here, check this out, or, you know, I learned this from a video online, or whatever it is. And so, you know, the challenge is going to become in the future of what's it going to replace? You know, who is it going to replace in work and business and that kind of stuff? And so the more you know about it, you're the person that the company will keep on to help the company implement it throughout the company. Exactly,
yeah. So for other practical steps, because Alice gave me specific instructions to give you tools and resources, for other practical steps ongoing from idea to launch, read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. He's a little crass. Has anyone heard of the book, first of all? Yeah? When I first heard it, and it came recommended from a lot of different people, friends of mine, I got it because it came so highly recommended. But when I went to actually read it, I was really skeptical. I was like, the 4-Hour Workweek? Like somebody just wanted to sell books. So they came up with an outrageous title. And I was so skeptical, I didn't even start reading from the beginning. I jumped to like chapter 10, which was about pricing or something. That was interesting to me. And I was so intrigued by it, I actually increased the price of, I stayed up till like 2 a.m. reading this, and I was fascinated. And it talked all about pricing and everything else. And as a result of reading that chapter, I actually took my cooking software. This is back in 2007 when we were selling it as a downloadable product. And I doubled the price from $39.95 to $79.95. And because I was up late, I got into the office late. And when I walked in, my employees were like, "We're so glad you're here, finally." I said, "Why? What's wrong?" "Someone hacked our website. We've been hacked. They doubled our price of our product." "Who did this? We're getting phone calls." And I was like, "Oh, that was me." I read a book last night. So anyways, and we ended up sticking with that price. And it was a huge success. It was like unbelievable. That was transformative, that one idea. And then it's called The 4-Hour Workweek. Yep, the number 4. Timothy Ferriss.
2 S's.
Yeah, 2 S's. 2 R's and 2 S's in Ferriss. Ferriss. Timothy Ferriss. Like I say, he's a little crass, but just so you know. And if you're skeptical or you're not a big reader, just jump to chapters 9 and 10. if you're skeptical or you don't want to, chapters 9 and 10, which detail finding a muse or a business. He calls it a muse because he's like, we don't want to just start a business. We want a muse, one that you can do in 4 hours each week. And he gives you step-by-step things you can do to identify a product or a market in a category and how to get started and everything, and it's really great stuff. And then chapter 10 is testing your muse, he calls it. So what we want to do is test it for like $200 or less. No more than that. We're not sinking a ton of money into this. We're going to test it. And so those are 2 great chapters. But really, at the end of the day, something occurred to me as I was thinking about this presentation, which is, if you think about it, for 5,000 years, mankind has fetched water from the stream in a bucket when they needed water. They've chopped wood when they needed a fire for cooking or heating. They rode horses to get from point A to B. They grew their food and their livestock and so forth, right? And what's happened over the last 180 years? Oh, not a lot, just the invention of the light bulb and electricity and transportation, and we have running water in our homes, and we have climate-controlled houses that we live in that heat our houses and cool our houses, and we have so many communication. We have cell phones and internet and AI now. It's just like, and what's the difference over 5,000 years in the last 180? What? Yes, yes. So at the end of the day, no matter what I say about you could do it or yada, 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 the truth is the Spirit will inspire you, and the Heavenly Father will lead you and guide you and help you overcome the obstacles or the hurdles or the unknowns, and help you overcome the fear too. And so rely on the Spirit. And I'll share one story about our beginning of cooking. And if you want to hear more, you can encourage me by laughing or whatever, expressing interest. But here's the interesting part, I think, about our beginning, which is, so I started the business in 1992 when I was single and a student at BYU. And then I got married in 1993. And then I graduated in 1994. And then we had a kid also in 1994. And then for the next couple years, we struggled financially. We had distribution locally through Deseret Book and Seagull Book and so forth, but we couldn't get national distribution. And I tried, and I was rejected and turned down. I kept the rejection letters. I have them in a file. Those fools. I thought to myself. And but we made $13,000 gross revenue one year and $19,000 the next, and it wasn't enough to live on, especially for a small family. So I was borrowing money from Dad. I borrowed a little, and I borrowed a little more, and then I borrowed a little bit more. And finally, when I got to the point where I borrowed $35,000, Dad was like, "I'm done. I'm checking out. This is where I draw the line." Mom cornered me that Christmas and said, "Why don't you go get a job? Like, you have your degree in computer science from BYU. People with a degree 2 years out of school are making $55,000 at Novell. You could be." And so anyways, it's tough when your mom starts to doubt you a little bit. That's when you're running on hard times. So since we didn't have money from Dad, we just started using this credit card that we had. It had a $15,000 limit. And one day we reached that limit, and I remember it because it was on a Thursday morning, and Kathy was going to go grocery shopping. And I told her, "I hate to tell you this, but you can't go grocery shopping because Visa is going to say no." And think about it. We had $35,000 plus the $50,000 in debt. I just thought, if I work at Novell for 10 years and we save $5,000 a year, it's going to take me 10 years to pay off this debt. It was pretty daunting. And so Kathy said, "Well, what should we do?" And I said, "Well, I think we should start a special fast, and let's turn to the Lord." So we did, but it wasn't the typical, we didn't wait till Fast Sunday. We didn't wait till we ate dinner and then we skipped lunch and breakfast the next day. No, we had already eaten cereal for breakfast and then we just stopped eating. And it wasn't too hard to do because we couldn't buy groceries anyways. And we started praying, and that afternoon at 2 p.m., I got a phone call from my buddy Alan Larson. Now, I hadn't talked to Alan for 3 years. And he called, and I was like, "Hey, Big Al, how are you? So good to hear your voice." "Good." He says, "Yeah, I moved to Boston." I had no idea he was in Boston. I said, "What are you doing in Boston?" He says, "Well, I started a new business, and I'm working for U.S. Robotics." And he served his mission in Japan, so in his business, what he was doing was taking technical documents from U.S. Robotics and translating them to Japanese. He wasn't actually doing the translation. He was orchestrating it with people he knew in Japan who were really fluent and everything, And so that was his business. Technical documents translated from English to Japanese. And he said to me, "Hey, listen, U.S. Robotics actually has this software that they want to localize." That's the term they use when they want to translate it from English to Japanese. And I don't know anything about software, so as soon as I heard that, I thought of you. And I'm wondering if you can help us. I said, "Well, tell me about the project." So he told me about it. I had no idea if I could do it. I had never done something like that before. But he said, "You bet I can do that, Alan. And it's going to cost you $6,000. It's going to take me 6 weeks to do it." I had no idea if it was going to take me 1,000,000 weeks or 2 weeks because I'd never done it before. And he was like, "That's fantastic. I'm going to overnight a check to you for half up front, $3,000 right now. You're going to get it tomorrow. And we need you to get started right away." I said, "Absolutely." So I hung up the phone and I said to Kathy, "You're not going to believe this, but we have $3,000 coming tomorrow. Can you believe that? What a miracle. You tell me that's not a miracle, and I'm not going to believe it. You know, I know that was a blessing. In fact, we knew it so surely that we had a dilemma. We were like, should we keep fasting? Because on the one hand, if we do keep fasting and praying, it's almost like as if we don't realize or recognize that that was just the miracle. But then on the other hand, if we eat, it's almost like how grateful are we that we didn't even wait 24 hours with this fast, you know? So it was a dilemma. But anyways, so I did the project. I finished it in the 6 weeks that I promised, and I got the other $3,000. And then he said to me, you know, US Robotics is so happy with the way that they turned out, they have a question. There's this big software project that they've been in development for 2 years on, and they're promoting it in Japan, and they've already advertised and marketed it and promoted it, and they've announced a release date at the end of February. And it was November when he first contacted me, so 6 weeks later was the middle of December. And so we were about 2 months away, and he said to me, do you think you could do this? I said, let me see if I understand correctly. This other software company with a team of developers, this whole business, they've been working on it for 1.5 years now, and they're not done yet? And you want me to do what they couldn't do in 2 months? He said, yeah. I said, well, I can do it. I had no idea if I could do it. I said, well, I can do it, but it's going to cost you 20 grand. He said, I'm overnighting a check for 10 grand right now. So he overnighted a check to me, and I actually flew Kathy and the kids to Florida to stay with her sister. And then I pulled up the recliner, I had this comfy recliner, to my desk, and I just lived at my desk 24/7 for the next 2 months. And I got it done. And I got the other $10,000. And it was just such a blessing for us. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was a miracle. Like I say, the whole point of this story is to show that Heavenly Father blessed us. There were several other things that happened between February and May, and I don't know how much detail to share. I think it's fascinating, but I don't want to bore you. I've already gone long, so I'll shorten it. But basically, we ended up getting into Sam's Club. The buyer at first, when I first talked to him, he said, cooking software will never sell at Sam's. That's what he said. And I was kind of like, have you ever seen Jim Carrey in, what's that movie when he's like, so what are the chances? And she's like 1 in 100, and she's like, more like 1 in 1,000,000. He's like, so you're telling me there's a chance? You know, that was me. That was how I perceived it. Woo! Yes! So I didn't let that deter me, and I ended up nurturing that relationship for 2 years, and I finally wore him down, I think. And he finally decided and agreed to put 10 copies of Cookin' in 10 clubs as a test. And it was in the month of May, which is the worst month to sell software, by the way, because people are camping and they're buying stuff to be outdoors. They don't want to buy software so they can sit at home on their computer. And but I was just happy to have the opportunity. So after 1 week in the 10 clubs, I called him and I was like, how's it doing? And he goes, I don't believe this, but 2 of the 10 clubs have sold out. I said, really? So 1 week later, I called him and I said, how's it doing now? He said, I don't believe this, but 6 of the 10 clubs had sold out. And he acted like he was skeptical, wondering almost if I went and bought those ones. I'm not saying he said that, but he seemed skeptical. And the truth is, I considered that. I just wanted to pass the test. I shipped them to the clubs. I knew which clubs had those ones. That'd be a simple investment on my part to buy my own software. But it was selling well, so I didn't have to. So I said, so can we go nationwide? And he said, well, no, let's expand the test to 60 clubs. So he expanded the test to 60 clubs, which was a huge order for us. And after 1.5 weeks in the 60 clubs, I called him and I said, how's it doing? And he said, I don't believe this, but this is selling like hotcakes. And so he ended up rolling it out nationwide. And in 4 months, we sold 40,000 copies. Could you believe that? We were renting our house in Spanish Fork, our apartment, and managing the other 11 units so that we had reduced rent. And we went from that to buying this property in Alpine and paying cash for it. And then we couldn't get a construction loan because I only made $13,000 the 1 year and $19,000 the next. No one's going to give me a construction loan. I'm not going to qualify for nothing. So we ended up paying cash, just paying the contractors, and we built the house ourselves. And so anyways, but it was a huge blessing. And ultimately, when everything is said and done, like I say, this kind of started with that miracle and that blessing that we got. And ultimately, with your ideas, Heavenly Father will inspire you and lead you and guide you and help you to know which steps to take. And I hope this was helpful. I've got one last thing to share, and then I'm done. This is a poem that I keep on the wall in my office, and I've had it there for 30 some odd years now. And it's by Edgar A. Guest, and it's called "It Couldn't Be Done." Has anyone heard it before? Yeah? Okay, some people have. So I'll read it to you. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one. Oh, sorry. I can't read it. I'll try. Hold on. Think of dead cats. I'll think of dead cats. Dead chickens. I'll think of dead chickens. That maybe he couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start in to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done. And you'll do it. Thank you for joining.
Are we motivated? We're going to go do great things. Thank you, Dan, so much. Thank you. Please share your notes, share your enthusiasm, share what you learned today with your friends, your neighbors, your family. Together, let's make some great things happen. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you. And I hope we see you next month, August 13th, right here at 10:30. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.